From the broadcasting station of Lagos Television and across the world, wherever you are watching us, we want to thank you again today for joining us on yet another time out together on Issues and Trends with Obafemi Craig. Well, today we'll be taking a guest whose professionalism, expertise, specialization has to do with his calling to serve the state government as it is in a very high capacity of his essence of why he is what he should be and what he is today in the service of the Lagos State Public Service, working directly with Mr. Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olu-Shola Sanwo-Olu. Well, we want to say that before you meet my guest, well, it is just one of those special issues where we look at analyzing very current critical issues of the time, and the issue of tax reforms as signed by Mr. President became a reality after the discussion, the controversy surrounding it. There's so many issues, within the same issue of how will this come to be and how will it actually begin its functionality? Will it be accepted? There were so many concerns. But today, we are glad to say that on the 26th of June, Thursday precisely, the 26th of June 2025, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed into law this controversial bill that became that which will be guided by today as it is. But then, who am I speaking with? You get to meet my guest after this break. But thanking you for staying with us on yet another time out on Issues and Trends with Obafemi Craig. We'll be right back after this time out. My guest today, as I said, it's on record that Mr. Abdul-Kabir Opeyemi Ogungbo is a financial tech-driven expert, a digital transformation specialist, and a program project management resource practitioner with track record and, of course, an impeccable pedigree in his competence and capability in a specialized field of learning. Well, with over 2 decades, I was told, and I found that, it came to be what it is, with over 2 decades on hands-on experience in program and project management delivery, revenue generation automation, the development of homegrown software technologies, business orientation strategy, process mapping, stakeholders management and negotiation, and corporate policy implementation. Mr. Abdul-Kabir Opeyemi Ogungbo is no doubt, like it said, a goal-oriented financial technologist, a revenue assurance expert who had successfully led high-impact revenue optimization and financial technology projects for public and private sector-driven initiatives in policy implementation in West Africa and Central Africa. Well, it is of note that he is an alumnus of Olabisi Onabanjo University, OOU, the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, with certification in Risk Information Systems Control, CRISC. He is also a Cisco certified security professional, as well as a project management professional, PMP, of the Project Management Institute, and lots more to his credit as an accomplished, experienced professional with reputation and integrity that stands him out in his specialization and expertise. Well, it's a great honor, sir, to have you find time to speak to us today on the subject matter of the signed into law by Mr. President, the tax reform bill.
Yes.
We want to welcome you.
Thank you
for this honor, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well, you said it with a sense of joy in your heart when you said today you were sharing your knowledge base, as it were, and of course giving an insight, so you said, on the new tax bills signed into law by His Excellency, Mr. President, and of course the Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, on Thursday, June 26, 2025. You were so proud to say, oh, at last, it came to be. Well, prior to this time, what was your thinking about this tax reforms bill?
Thank you, Mr. Craig, and thank you, viewers. To start with, is a period where we should all celebrate.
A period where we should
all celebrate.
Why should we celebrate?
Because this is a legacy that, like I said, we will not forget soon. That Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, that's Baba Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his bold step, yes, and the real political will to get this done. We must give him this kudos, as always. Very intentional and very audacious with the bill, and as a people, we should be happy, because the question says that why are we supposed to be happy? You know, the conversation today is majority of the people are grasping with a lot of misconception about how tax are being collected, how it's having a misconception around its collections and all that. So this has put all those arguments into rest, because the first, to start with, the bill, as it's been said in certain quarters and agreed by us in Lagos, is pro-poor people. When you say pro-poor people, it means that those of our people that are challenged with the current economic situation, realities occasioned by structured, needed interventions that Mr. President has brought in, has made people to want to lose hope with the kind of reform coming. So all of them, our people may be tempted to believe that a tax bill is another way to enrich the government purse. But having said that, I'll say that is pro poor people, is pro SMEs, is pro low income earners, and also give room for our corporate institutions, because this is going to create more money. I mean, create more jobs. There's going to be various economic activity from the savings for the concerns within our system. So it's a period where we should celebrate, because we now have a new tax Bible, which has reduced
a new tax Bible,
which has eventually reduced from our multiple levels of taxation to under 8 to 9 major taxes that is allowable for the federal, state, and local government to collect from the people. And it eliminates multiple taxation and all that, as it were. And this is what we need to celebrate as a people, because eventually it's going to give more money to government in order to do various developmental projects as promised by the government. And this is a structured system, as it happens everywhere in other climes. So, and this is the best time, and we must celebrate this.
Well, I must commend your visionary thinking, your proactiveness to the signing of these bills, so to speak, sir. You've been so bold. You raised a lot of issues here that we still need some understanding. You said it is very intentional. You equally said it is very audacious. You added by equally saying it is a legacy that we will not forget so soon. Why did you choose those narrative of your perspective, so to speak?
The first, when you say something is audacious, it means that you're against all odds.
Against
all odds. It's a simple way of classifying what Mr. President has done. So against all odds, misconception, those that feels that this is not right, it's not the right time and all that. So Mr. President gave the committee an independent opportunity to rewrite the history.
To rewrite the
history. Because when you look at our taxes and the way it's being collected, you say because there are no consequences of inability to fulfill our civic responsibility as entrenched in our constitution, which allows for those that are earning genuinely to honestly declare their earnings or income for the body who is statutorily responsible to collect on behalf of the government, because there are no consequences of maybe filing of our returns. For instance, many of us feel that if I don't file my returns, the consequence is just maybe 5,000 naira and co. You'd rather go to court and allow the authority to spend so much because you want to pay 5,000 as fine.
Which is not necessary.
Which is not necessary. There are, overlapping responsibilities, even from state, federal, and local government. And they are backed by our same law, our same acts.
Same law,
same acts. So, and if you want to grow a nation like our country, you need to have a foundation in having resources that will jointly contribute for the development of our nation. So, and one of the areas that you can possibly think of without selling or exchange of services, or exchange revenue, where you sell a certain services and co. Taxation, which is mandatory by our collective understanding and constitution, is by looking critically into the tax reforms. And when you look at the tax and fiscal, policy, so they need to work hand in hand.
That's right.
So, and that is what we've been able to achieve with this sign of bill. We should be jubilating, actually.
We should be jubilating, actually.
Actually, yeah.
But let us look at this again before we go into specifics, sir. You said it's a very bold step on one hand, and you reiterated with emphasis that it is a real political will to get this done. You said it with a sense of conviction and authority, and of course with various commitment to this. What angle are you looking at when you're saying and seeing, when you are saying, I'm repeating myself, seeing the bold step in action taken, the reality of the political will asserted to it, and getting the deal done, like Trump would say, deal being done. Why did you say that?
When you see this kind of initiative, without very strong political will, you might want to believe that Mr. President or the presidential committee assigned with this responsibility will back down when the going get tough.
The tough gets going.
Yes.
Robert Schumer said that.
Yeah. So, because the political will, the independence, creativity, innovation, engagement, advocacy, consistent management of this whole process, so allows us the so-called subcommittee, because it will also interest you to know that immediately the committee visited Mr. Governor, because the committee visits to subnationals to get their buy-in and co. Mr. Governor, as usual, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, proactively constituted a committee.
Separate from
yes, to work.
Yes,
to look into, to work closely
and monitor closely.
Yes, to watch closely and ensure that there is no overlap, and we give them the maximum support it requires. In fact, it was being shared by Honorable Commissioner for Finance, with Chairman Oyedele, where we are all members of that committee, and we work closely to review in order to protect. Committee is subcommittee from the state.
Okay, from the state.
From the state. That Mr. Governor constituted, So we all work together, having workshops and all that, ensuring that our people are protected, we're not exposed as a state, and how do we complement whatever plans that is coming from the center. And that's what we have done, and that is why we are very happy to see it coming to the light at the end of the day. And so you can be rest assured that Lagos is already working very hard to ensure that this works, and whatever areas that we see that we're going to have a shortfall, we're also already planning.
You're already planning.
Yes.
Lagos is already
yes, ahead
of time.
Yes, planning ahead to make sure that we cushion the effect, we mitigate exposures, ensure that this is seamlessly and our people are not agitated. And we're also rolling out various programs to ensure that our people are educated in time, continuously. LRS, the major body, started with the responsibility of collecting taxes from the people, are already doing well in that area. Our office also, and Minister of Finance, is also putting structures in place so that we can quickly onboard, despite knowing that the commencement date is January 2026. So we're already planning ahead to ensure that when it comes to implementation, Lagos State as a sub-national is now formed.
One foresight of understanding of the narrative.
Yes.
But did it really bother you, sir? With due respect to you, sir?
The concerns raised at the time when this bill was introduced and was proposed by Mr. President, you will agree with me, there were controversies, there were agitations, there were disagreements, there were so many ups and downs as to know, well, should this, no, we wouldn't, until we got to, where did it bother you at the time prior to where we are today?
We were not really bothered about what, because we know, we are lucky to know the president. And we know that when he says something, he means it. And luckily too, from our state. So what we were, guiding against at the time the conversation was going on is how it will not affect our own mandate, which is Lagos State. So
as a state.
As a state, because it's a national conversation, irrespective. So we look critically here and see how do we, see this through. So we were having engagements and all that internally, and ensuring that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted.
That's right.
But there's a misconception that a lot of people believe that Lagos is, maybe favored and coexist.
Were they wrong to have thought along that line when you look at the enormity of what Lagos State generates to complement what the federal government is?
So you just see that a lot of people are just trying to, defend their turf. A lot of people
from the way they understand
yes,
it.
they want. Yes, everybody want to see that rather than looking inward to see how you can convert this as a bigger opportunity.
That's right.
Looking at areas that you give and take. So areas where you're going to lose, you look for a complementary areas to complement whatever you're going to lose from a particular, and very conscious, innovative method, deploying technology, integrations, collaborations. So these are the strengths.
The strength
that Lagos enjoys. So we do not, see ourselves as know it all. So we work together. And what this is also bringing is that now this bill and this that have been passed now represents another round of integration with the federal institution like National Revenue Service. It gives standardization, enhances our system, promotes efficiency, sharing of data becomes very easy, and you can see our compliance level will now be increased. With these 4 bills, we should actually be fine to see, and various areas are catered for: informal sector, digital company.
I know you'll be
players,
concerned about digital. You love this digital issue all the time. I'm coming to that.
Yes, but I can tell you, with the pressure and the direction that Mr. Governor has set, I mean, we cannot do less.
All right, we'll take another quick break here at this point. When we come back, we'll be taking another look from another perspective of the discuss.
Do less.
Now, before I take you through your analytical analysis, because I came across your post on your X or on your X handle, you were quoted to have said, the bills signed into law, of course, we know what the bills are: the Nigerian Tax Bill, the Nigeria Tax Administration Bill, the Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Bill, the Joint Revenue Board Establishment. We'll come to that. But you said something here before we go into, I'm just trying to focus attention on what you said and reported about you. But before this, you just said again here that the bill is pro-poor people, pro-SMEs, pro-low-income earners, creativity in creating more jobs, opportunities, and on and on. What gives you that insight to believe that, well, this is what it will interest people to know? Yeah. How do you convince them to believe in what you've said?
Yes, let's go a bit practical. So what the bill is saying is that henceforth, from 2026, January 1st, so all the citizens that earns less than 70,000, amounting to 800,000 per annum, are now exempted from paying taxes. Traditional hawkers, maybe fashion designers, the people at the lowest base of the pyramid will now be relieved. They'll be exempted from paying taxes, except those in the informal sector. So informal sector will have a bit of relief, but there's clarification and a caveat. So if you want to be exempted, and you must be able to honestly file your returns. Because if you file your returns, that's what right. You have earned over the period in under review, then you can now be qualified to, so that is why, when you see people maybe destitute and all that, or those people that are even struggling to even use a phone. Some people use what we call palasa and this type of phones. And you expect them to, they see earn less than average minimum wage. So the law permits you, everybody in that category, to be exempted from paying tax. So what it means is that certain percentage of our people will now be relieved. So that we classify as the people at the lowest bottom of the pyramid. What is it to SMEs? Those that are struggling. So without putting figures, it means that you have to meet a certain threshold.
Absolutely.
As SMEs, you're trying to sell shoes, designers and all that. You're working online and all that. So all these SMEs that are trying to create jobs, less than 10 employees on co, if their yearly turnover is less than certain threshold, I don't want to, because the final numbers is not out. Yeah.
Appropriate word.
Yes. So you will not be allowed to pay tax on that. What about essential items?
Essential
items. Food items,
that's right.
Rent, transportation, hospital bills, and all that were hitherto charged under the previous acts for the consumptions to be paid for, are now also exempted from this tax, so which means it's zero rated. So when you look at that, what about corporate institutions? Corporate institution that creates job, why do we tax out of business those small part of us that are trying to create jobs? So what this bill has done is it has planned to reduce on a yearly basis certain percentage, which I will also not commit to because it's figure until the final figure is out, that's what they will pay on their corporate income tax. Okay. So these are, I can go on and on.
We're quoted, I can't just take it off and now, in your representation of Mr. Governor at a fora in Abuja, I think not too long ago, you gave a speech on behalf of Mr. Governor, where you reference what Mr. Governor said, that this gap of 700 to 800 in between that gap must be looked into so that people will not take undue advantage. I can't quote you often, but I recall you said that there, that we should look into that.
Yes, I remember. So when you're talking about the easiest way out for our people is to claim that I'm playing in the informal sector. So that is actually talking to informal sector. So informal sector deals with those child because you cannot really, they are not in formal employment. You cannot really they don't have a system to weigh or to assess their income. And 90% or 95% of them don't file returns. Filing of returns.
That is against the law.
Yeah, that's against the law.
Because ignorance in law is not an excuse.
Yes. So we don't file. So if those categories don't file, then they now resort to presumptive tax. You have 10,100, 20,000, and the likes. So what Mr. Governor is saying is that there should be a system put in place, which this bill has addressed now, because there will be seamless sharing of information between federal, state, and local government. So you cannot hide
under any disguise.
Under disguise that, oh, this is my category, whereas you are in another category. So if your direct data did not reveal what you're doing, your other transactional data over time will reveal your true position. So that's the bad news for those that keeps hiding under informal sector to avoid or to evade tax. So now there is a system, and what Lagos has been able to do is when we get to that point, we'll let you know what we have been able to do to ensure that our people are not, taken out unnecessarily, and to see how to harmonize our various taxes in accordance with the law and with the recently passed bills, and then to see that ultimately our people benefit from this without changing the system. Yes, the system.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Well, let us take a look at the specifics here. So, with due respect again, sir, with and all respect to you for your versatility in this subject matter. The bills are classified into 4 categories. But you made a reference here, sir, again, knowing how well you're grounded, you said it is a process of eliminating multi-taxation, grasping with misconception on how tax is being collected. Not everybody will understand it, sir. I mean, we'll understand this perspective, except those who are really given the opportunity to understand it. So when we look at this, how do we differentiate the classification of these respective laws, as it were, or rather the bills? The Nigerian Tax Bill, the Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill, and the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill. If you look at it, Tax Bill, Nigerian Tax Bill, Nigerian Tax Administration Bill. To some people, we're not saying the same thing in another way. Okay. How do we let them understand, no, they have been well classified to meet the certain expectation of what they should serve in tax processes administration?
To start with, when you look at the Nigeria Tax Administration Act, the simplest way to define that is the bill promotes compliance. Instantly.
It promotes
So compliance. So what are the rules that governs how tax administration should look like? So this gives enhancement in compliance, methodology, integrations, sharing of data, and the likes between the subnationals and the federal government. So when you look at the actual practice in terms of how tax NTA, that's a Nigeria Tax Acts,
Okay.
which is NTA
That's right.
2025.
Yes, sir.
That talks about the actual tax payment as it relates to personal income tax, corporate income tax. What are the areas, stamp duty and other in specifics?
In specifics?
Yes. So that deals with the other one is broader to overlook and see how this can be complied. This is now speaking to how these individual taxes need to be, paid, received, accommodated, and disbursed. Then you have what you call National Revenue Service, which seems to, it was established by Nigeria Tax Administration Act. And the establishing authority, that's National Revenue Service, now changed from Federal Inland Revenue Service to National Revenue Service for fiscalization and for the collection of the fiscalization and collection of taxes on behalf of the federal, state, and local government. When those tiers have the power to collect, but they decide to donate by understanding to the revenue service. So revenue service is that institution authority that is now empowered by law to collect these various taxes, especially as it relates to corporate income tax, those in the federal category and the likes. And they can also, by extension, collect on behalf of the subnational with adequate understanding and agreement.
With the same purpose, same goal, same vision, same mission, same objective for the good of the collectiveness of everyone. Now, so let us look at something here. You are a member of the subnational committee. By extension, you have an understanding, not just an understanding, a very deep insight, an understanding in how the modalities, the functionalities of how all of these will work for the good of all. Now, given this position and submission of your contribution and place in this equation, calculation, permutation, and of course arrangement, if the woman selling on the street comes to you to say, "Sir, I don't know how this will add value to my life. In all of this you have put together, you may understand it." To simplify it, what will you tell that woman who is not literate enough to understand the value of what she will stand to gain in what she does as a business to the state?
Thank you. And that's the point I'm trying to make. The first one is the woman is not expected to pay additional taxes. So let's say she is one of those that pays 10,100 because she could not prove that she's not earning up to the threshold and is not able to do that now. So because it's earning far less than that threshold, there's a relief of additional money into her pocket.
Into her pouch.
Yes. So you're not going to, you just need to declare honestly that, see my trade or my whatever, maybe tray or whatever, that
You
what
said something here, if I may call
Yeah.
it. You said declare honestly.
honestly.
Nigerians are not known to be that honest anymore.
So that is where the law permits you to file. If you cannot declare honestly, it then presupposes that you are hiding something. Then go and pay presumptive.
Okay.
Then
the way
yes, that's the way it works. But if you can say that my annual income for last year, I'm not able to make up to 800,000 per annum, for instance. So then you're not qualified. You are not qualified to pay, but you can file return of zero to say that my income last year is zero. So maybe the question is now, how do you get that? The first answer I will give is that there is a enterprise tax administration system that we have in Lagos today. It's been in existence since about 2020. So proactively, where citizens are meant to interact to file their returns and use technology without leaving the comfort of their home or offices.
The convenience of their home.
Yes, they can interact with the system. So that has also improved by establishing maybe mobile phone, artificial intelligence, stations, representatives of the, the informal sector. They are also providing contacts in each of the markets, major markets in all the 57 local governments of Lagos State,
As we speak.
to respond to the woman selling on the streets, asking for clarification of this. And this we're going to improve on to ensure that adequate information goes to our people. That's one side. Another side is the transportation, maybe there have been hitherto factored VAT in terms of delivery.
That's right.
And co has been removed. So the expectation is that will also reflect in our food items. So we just need Nigerians to understand that the gains as designed by the proponent of these bills should be seen, because we can also be seen to be taking advantage. That's another area where we need to really talk to ourselves. Because if you're taking advantage of the system, not allowing the dividend or the gains intended by this act, if you don't allow it to come to fruition, then people will still continue to, complain about that, and so on. So in a very nutshell, the woman selling on the streets should be happy because he will not be harassed again. So these all multiple engagement, we call it multiple engagement,
Will be seamless
and will be reduced. And so this is the kind of thing that you expect next year.
All right, Mr. SSR, you've really delved into very deep understanding of this. Let's give it to you that well. All you've said connects with the summary of what you said on your X handle. You said that these tax bills aim to simplify tax processes, boost government revenue, and foster a more business-friendly environment. You were quoted to have said that, but you said more importantly, the bills offer relief to low-income earners, small and medium-sized enterprises, corporate organizations, again with emphasis here, while laying a strong foundation for enhanced revenue generation without overburdening taxpayers. Let me look at, my concern here is fostering a more business-friendly environment. How can that be achieved?
Yes, it's already in place. The first thing is that if you understand as a business owner that when I declare,
When I declare.
I declare honestly, you are going to get benefits. You have tax relief. You have, if you over, even the bill allows for tax refund. Even if at some point in the course of filing you over, pay or over as assessed as a company, you have it. But ultimately, the word ease of doing business, enabling and fostering business process is the investment, intentional investment of the government. I'm speaking for Lagos in the areas of
coming back to
yes. The investment in technology to allows, previously in Lagos you have to file returns. It's a whole lot of work. People slum and co because they want to. But right now, at the comfort you can, and again, let me also use the opportunity to also mention that it's an opportunity for even employees. Now, employers who deduct taxes from employees and did not remit same. So Lagos has provided a platform where you can validate your tax remittances
from the comfort
from the comfort of your home. So you get notification. If you don't have notification of what your employer has actually deducted, it means that it's either of one thing, maybe your record is not not correct, and you need to visit etax.net, to modify and update your record so that you can be getting your monthly notification through emails and SMS. And ultimately, there are a system to accommodate, even growth within the system. It allows for filing, checking your position, an ability to print tax clearance without hassle, and so many more. So we are now being recognized even globally as one of the environment who has prepared and digitalized the way we do our business here, and this is reflecting
ease of doing business.
Yes, and is reflecting all
And transparency in our
in our system. Yeah.
Something came to my mind, Mr. Special Advisor, sir. Recently, the Lagos Internal Revenue Service did a campaign of a deadline wherein if you do not conform with that requirement, one is seen in the other side of the law. But especially, what played out well, which was launched last year, was the whistleblower initiative. Has that impactively made the mark in revenue generation base of the state from your own perspective?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I can say yes. It has contributed, to a large extent, though work in progress. It can be better, it can be improved. So when you look at the under declaration of remittances, so this initiative is as a result of whistleblowing that a lot of employees get shortchanged by the employers because they collect X amount and they declare Y to the government,
which is against the law.
Which is against the law. So by whistleblowing, the Internal Revenue Service is beginning to consciously monitor those, and I can tell you that compliance level has now increased, significantly, where number of corporate payers are now complying, to these various reforms, innovations, and the like. So I can say that fair enough. It's not bad. It's really contributing to the conversation.
Mr. Governor has been commended, Mr. Special Advisor, sir, by the Lagos State House of Assembly and as well by stakeholders in this engagement of taxation administration matters in the state. Why? Because it is on record today, you're meeting that threshold of a 1.31 trillion naira plus to really drive in changing the narrative was not just a feat unbelievable that can be achieved, but seemed to have been achieved. And kudos, the said, to that visionary thinking to come up with that. Where does that place us now as it is? And Mr. Governor will always say, the reward of hard work is more work. How are you prepared and what are you doing? Because they will expect to see more from you. What are the plans to meet such?
The first plan is we continue to be focused. The milestone is a collective effort led primarily by Mr. Governor himself. So he's at the forefront. And LRS, you must give it to them for the very reliable strategic leadership that they are provided in terms of, and the system put in place.
The system,
the structure. So the independence, the structure, the deliberate galvanization of this revenue because of various that maybe time may not permit me to explain the structure. So like you said rightly, the budget for 2025 has already given us, out to say that, a call to say that 2024 is gone. We are now in the reality of 2025, knowing fully well that Lagos is confronted with a lot of pressure because of the size of our population. You have a lot of the influx interstate on a daily, minute basis. So it tells you that it's not a joke, like Mr. Governor will say. It's not a joke. So we are all hands are on deck. We meet regularly. We review our processes. A lot of people may not know that we review all our processes on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, and and is conscious. Mr. Governor is conscious of the result of those reviews and the engagement, and would not take away the investment in ensuring that Lagos becomes a business destination of the world, and by extension maybe Africa. And for that reasons, we are putting all effort to make sure that we save, protect life and property and businesses. So that is where you can have a thriving economy like we're having in Lagos. So I'm aware of the great work ahead, and we are up to the task.
Well, let me quote the Honorable Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget at the just concluded ministerial briefing. He was very, very emphatic in saying unequivocally that Lagos State government will not borrow to offset its budget deficit, if any, but that the Lagos Internal Revenue Service, by every equation, is expected to meet about certain percentage, which will amount to 1 point something trillion naira, while other MDAs will be looking at some billions of naira. And this is a task that is challenging when you look at the seeming areas of gray areas that we still need to, contend with and address to be able to move on with these new challenges. Is that realistic?
Yes, very realistic. Yeah, very. Of course, he's speaking from the Honorable Commissioner was speaking from the area of knowledge and focus. So because we are one government, so we work together, and we know that with all hands on deck, like I've described, with a very systems that were put in place, personal efforts, collaboration, advocacy, like what you're trying to bring up now, and so many other. I believe that when you look at the trust deficit from our people, it's becoming lower. With the engagement of Mr. Governor to the people by engaging CDA, CDC, business community, and all that. So you see that the narrative is not changing, and people are getting more. So that system. So what we are just doing is to provide enabling environment, structure, systems, processes to ensure that when our people need to pay or need certain clarification, they get that information, and they can now perform their own civic responsibility.
I must let you go, Mr. Special Advisor, but not minding me, let's just quickly look at this. What is the place of investors in these entire settings that we are looking at in terms of revenue for the state, their commitment for their investment, and all of that?
So Lagos State is an environment that is investors friendly, and allows for investments, and is an environment where you're not overburdened by a process, because when you look at what we're doing now, we're trying to provide enabling environment. Look at the investment in innovation and technology in order to make sure that infrastructure required to deliver world-class business is being put in place. If you look at our road network, a transport system and all that, so there's opportunity, tourism, education and co. Lagos is a destination. And we as a government, we're not resting on our hands to ensure that this environment is friendly, is secured, and is habitable for all the investors coming. And ultimately, we have the population which can give the investors very good return on their investment, and without necessarily taxing them out of the system. So we're looking at all this to balance the equation.
You must go now, sir. We must thank you. I can see that we've actually overstepped our bound by taking too much of your time. But sir, if you must leave us with a word, what will be your parting word?
Thank you. Governance is a collective responsibility. I must tell Lagosian that it's a responsibility that government alone, if you look at our population and look at our revenue in terms of the environment, you see that we have not done much as against what needs to be done. So the only thing I can leave you with is to continue to support this government, continue to pay and fulfill your civic responsibility, and encourage those that have been supporting us to continue to do more, whilst those recalcitrant should be careful, because laws, they say, may come or will come after you. We are not introducing some of these things to put burden on you, but rather to simplify the way you interact with us. So try and ensure that you interact with us with all our communication structures, so that we can continuously provide you with the system and platform that you deserve. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for this honor, Danas. But you want to promise you give us another time, some other time when we come? Yes, sure. You want to tell them?
Yes. So anytime you call on us, I can assure you that I will come again.
Well, thank you so very much. Well, viewers at home, it's been a very good outing and good time today again on another focus point of the program, Issues and Trends, with Opeyemi Craig, with our very special guest today, the person of the Special Advisor to the Governor on Taxation and Revenue, and the person of Mr. Abdul-Kabir Opeyemi Ogungbo. Is the Special Advisor doing a great job in his commitment, dedication to what is expected in changing the narrative in the tax revenue generation system of the state. Well, we'll see you again same time next week, God willing. And until then, we'll see you
at the other side of the program next week.